find a comfortable seat. And I've sent everyone the playlist. So I'll tell you when to press play, not just yet. I just want to chat to you guys about what the next kind of 6 weeks look like. So, okay, so we're doing 6 weeks in coming up to spring, which is very exciting for me. Spring's my favorite time of year. It's when my birthday is, and it's also this idea of we're in the cycle of nature of rebirth. So it's a great time to start new things like yoga. So each week we're going to be going through, on a Thursday, we're going to be doing particular like family poses. So today's class is a standing class. Apologies, I know Lulu, my sister, has been doing some leg work recently and is probably going to be in pain, but today will be more in the legs than any of the other parts of the body. But each week on a Thursday, we'll focus on a different type of yoga pose. And hopefully it's a little bit more anatomical for you and gets you understanding kind of what muscles could or should be working in those times. And then on a Sunday morning, it's going to be much more about finding your own flow, rejuvenating yourself. We'll do some pranayama work, which is breath work, and we'll be, just working out. Sorry, I'm getting distracted watching people on the side. It's going to be a more of a free-flowing kind of your own practice thing, a little bit more creative on my end, because I won't be working in just one family of poses each class. It will kind of go through a lot of different things. So that's Sunday mornings. But today we're going to be working in standing poses. And when you're ready, you can press play on the playlist or any other playlist that you have. Just make sure that your laptop's on mute. I'm also going to be playing it separately, so let me know if you hear it. I don't think you should be able to. All right. Thank you all for joining me today. When you're ready, please find a comfortable seat, either knees out wide, or if you prefer, you can bring your knees together and sitting on your heels, up to you. We're going to close our eyes over. Bring our hands together at heart center in prayer pose. So you've got the right and the left hand really pressing against each other. And we begin to shift our attention in. I think Thursdays are a good time just before the weekend to kind of have a think and thank yourself for everything you've done for yourself so far this week. And get excited for what could be coming up. Please create an intention for this class. And that really means whatever it means to you. So it could be to be a bit more present, or maybe there are things that you're holding on to that are no longer serving you. Bow your head to your heart center. And as you raise your head, we're going to come up into Tadasana, or mountain pose, which is a standing pose. So come to the top of your mat. I'll be here, but I'll move around just so you guys can see. Feet are actually going to come together. So bring your big toes and your heels together. Hands come down either side of you. And we're going to practice standing. Now, standing is something we do every day, but a lot of the time we're not focusing on where in our body the weight is shifting. So I want you to take a moment to notice if there's one hip that you lean more on, or if there's any little ningles in your body that are telling you to stand a bit straighter. We press our feet into the earth, open up your toes. So if you want, you can lift your toes. Now, if you can see, lift your toes and then bring them back down onto the mat. And we're going to suction up from the floor. So we're lifting the inner arches of our heels. We're going to lift our thigh bones, so activating the core, the quads. And as we keep moving up our body, so our legs are now all engaged, I want you to pay attention to your sacrum, and we don't want to be splaying out. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to work out this lighting next week, but so we're not splaying out like this. I want you to tuck your tailbone and bring your ribs and your hip bones together, so engaging the core. So our feet are lifting, our quads are lifting, our abdomen and our back is engaged. And when you feel comfortable, we're going to raise our arms above our head. Sorry, keep raising your arms above your head. My sisters just told me it is very dark in here, and I noticed that too. It was lighter when I practiced. I don't actually have anything else that I could do at the moment. So if you please try and just pay attention to what I'm saying. And I will.
We can see you. It's okay, but maybe for next week.
Definitely next week. Yeah, I'm going to sort this out for you guys. Yeah, because when I did all this, there was light coming in the windows. Apologies. So back into our Tadasana. Engage your core. It's actually good practice, because in a real yoga class, I wouldn't be doing all the moves in front of you. So when finally at some point we'll be in person, it will be more about just hearing what I'm saying. So engage the quads, engage the core. As your arms rise up overhead, your palms are facing each other. But I want you to not lose what you've just created in your body. We're not opening up the ribs out. We want to keep them all tucked in, and the arms extend up to the sky. And this is Tadasana. So this is how to stand. Thank you, James. Yeah. Hands come together at the top, so they're in prayer pose now above your head. And as we exhale, we're going to bring the hands down to heart center, close the eyes over, and check in with your breath. We're going to take our first sun A. So at the top of your mat, we're going to open the feet out so they're hip width distance apart. Hands come down either side of your body. Inhale, we're going to extend the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center, and we fold all the way over. And we're going into our first forward fold of the day. Forward fold. We're keeping the legs of Tadasana so that your thigh bones are still lifting and your feet are still suctioning. We're working to get the crown of your head down to the floor and your stomach on your thigh bones. If you need a bend in your knee, that's so fine. Inhale, halfway lift, working to get a flat, straight spine. Hands come to your shins. Or if you are already there, ideally we have blocks. You place your hands on the blocks, but otherwise on the floor. Exhale, forward fold. And we're going to do a ragdoll here. So we grab opposite elbows and we just rock from side to side. And exhale, release your hands to the floor. Find the floor, bend your knees. And we're going to step back into our high plank. High plank alignment, we're working to get the balls of our feet directly under our heels. Engage the core and extend as if there is someone pulling your heels back, but the crown of your head forward. Press the earth away with your hands. Your next inhale, we're going to shift the weight forward, and exhale, slowly lower it down. This is your chaturanga. 3, 2, 1. Good job, you guys. Untuck the toes. Magnetize the elbows together, and we're going to lift up into cobra pose. The chest is shining forward. The tops of your feet are pressing into the mat. And exhale, press the earth away. Lift the hips to the sky. Untuck the toes. Down dog. Take a few breaths here. Inhale, bend your knees. Look to your hands and just take a step all the way to the top of the mat. feet are hip-width distance apart, and we're in our forward fold. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands come to shins, working to open up the chest. Flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale slowly, rising up vertebra by vertebra, working to stack your spine on top of each other. Hands come all the way to the sky. And exhale, hands come to heart center. We find ourselves back in Tadasana. So check in again with your stance. Are we leaning more on one hip on one side? Reset up your Tadasana, lift those thigh bones, engage the core, and at your next inhale, arms come up all the way to the sky. Exhale, hands come to heart center as we fold over into our forward fold. Again, the picture here is crown of head to your toes. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bending the knees, placing the hands on the mat, and we step back into our high plank. Inhale, shifting the weight forward and trying to bend our elbows at a 90-degree angle. For 3, 2, 1. Good job. Untuck the toes. Keep those hands by your rib cage. Magnetize those elbows and lifting your chest up, cobra pose. Option here, if you're familiar, pressing the earth away into an up dog. Thigh bones lift off the ground, and this is a back bend. Exhale, shifting the weight into the back of your feet, into your up dog, down dog, sorry. Few breaths here. Your down dog is a triangle, working to get even weight between your feet and your hands, between the upper body and your lower body, hinging at the hips. So the highest point of your triangle is your hips. Exhale, we're going to bring the knees down to the floor, and we're going to set up for our first cat-cow. So hands come under your shoulders, your knees are stacked under your hips. We're in a perfect tabletop. In your next inhale, we're going to drop the belly, lift the chest towards the sky, and lift your tailbone to the sky. This is your cow. Exhale, press the earth away. Suction the stomach in, tailbone tucks down. Our cat. And I want you to take a few inhales and exhales, moving through your cat-cow by yourself. Our cat-cow is working to wake up the spine. And don't be afraid to breathe. Continue that for 2 more breaths, and when you're done, we're going to sit our hips back down into Balasana, or child's pose. Knees come out wide, toes are touching, arms extend to the top of the mat. And if you can, we work to get our forehead to the ground. And breathe. Feel your rib cage expand, maybe even onto your thighs. And contract as you exhale. I'm going to turn this fire off. And inhale back into our tabletop. Hands come a little bit in front of our shoulders now. We tuck the toes, lift the hips to the sky, back in our down dog. Pedal the feet out to the heels, gently lower onto the ground. And just move your hips from side to side, waking them up as we're just about to open them. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Left leg rises to the sky, keeping our hips square so our toes are facing the ground. And I want your foot flexed as if you're standing on a wall. Bend that knee so that your heel comes to your butt as close as it can. And we're going to turn the toes and the knee so it faces the left side of the room. We're opening up our hip in our three-legged dog. Inhale, bring that knee into your chest, as close to your elbow as we can. We're going to place that left leg on the inside of your left hand. Drop that back knee, untuck the toes, and really plant that front foot down. Inhale, rising the arms all the way up to the sky. Asana or crescent lunge. Find your balance between the front and the back foot. Really press the earth with the top of the foot on your back foot and the base of your foot on the front foot. When you feel ready, tuck that back toe, and we're going to lift that back leg. Working for that back leg to be like your high plank. The balls of your foot directly under your heel. And the knee of your front leg, we're trying not to shift it over your ankle, in line with your ankle. Exhale, hands come down to the ground. Keep that back leg lifted. We're going to really plant that right arm down, so the front left foot and the right hand are next to each other. We're going to peel our chest open to the left side of the room. Left arm comes to the sky. Finding a straight spine from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head. Exhale, hand comes down to the ground. I'm going to bring that front foot back to meet your back foot. We're in our high plank again. We'll take a vinyasa or a flow. So we shift our weight forward, lower down to chaturanga, untuck those back toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Lift that chest, shine your heart forward. Option again, upward dog. Exhale, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Engage the core, suctioning it in. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Right leg rises to the sky. And we're in the same as we were on the left side. We want an engaged foot, as if you're pressing on a wall. Bend that knee, bring the heel to your bum. I'm going to open it up to the right side of the room. Inhale, bring that knee to your chest. And one fluid movement, place that right foot on the inside of your right hand. Lower that back leg, untuck the toe. Plant those feet down into the mat and inhale, rise up to the sky with your arms. Engage the core, Anjaneyasana, crescent lunge. Pause here for 1 sec. I just have to close the door. And where we're going next, you guys. Hands are up. Tuck that back toe. Lift that back leg up. Find the strength in your feet. We're working to root them down into the ground. Our upper body is in Tadasana. So we don't splay open our ribs. We keep them tucked. Find the strength in your legs. And find your breath. They say our muscles shaking are just our muscles dancing. Exhale, hands come to the ground. We're going to set up that left hand, really spread the fingers, feel the earth. And when you're ready, we're going to peel open our chest to the right side of the room. Right arm goes to the sky. Working to stack your shoulder blades on top of one another. And exhale, hand comes to the ground. Going to bring that front foot to meet the back foot at the back of the mat, high plank. Inhale, shift your weight forward. Exhale, lowering down all the way to the ground. Untuck those back toes. Lift your chest, magnetize those elbows. And shift the weight all the way up, downward facing dog. 5 conscious breaths here. Where can you feel your breath? Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. Left leg rises to the sky. We won't open our hip this time. Instead, bend your knee, bring it all the way to the front of the mat. Place it in between your hands. Feet are hip width distance apart. And we're going to set up that back foot for warrior one. So the back foot, I want you to try and place it. So bring it in a little closer. There should be about 1.5 meters between your two legs. And the back toes are facing the front right-hand side of the mat. So this top corner of the mat. Ideally, right? If it hurts too much, we just open them up a little bit more. We set up that front leg, 90-degree angle. And when you feel ready, we inhale, rise our arms to the sky. Again, our top half of our body is in Tadasana. The bottom half, warrior one. Great work, you guys. I want you to rotate that back foot so it's parallel to the back of the mat. We're going to open up our arms into warrior two. So both our arms, I'm just going to turn around for you. Both our arms are equally pulled. One pulling forward, one pulling back, meeting us in the center. The front leg, we're working to get the 90-degree angle, but don't worry if you can't get there because I'm not there right now. Inhale, straighten that front leg. We're going to bring our hands to our hips. Walk that back foot in just a little. Rotate it again, so we're back into warrior one. Our hips are going to face the front of the mat. And we're going to start hinging forward, working our way into triangle pose, Trikonasana. Left hand comes either to your shin or to the ground. Right arm peels open. And now we've made a triangle with our legs. Again here, working to stack our shoulders on top of each other. We might feel a stretch all the way on the right side from our glutes to the side of our body. Option here, if this is pretty okay for you, you can bring that front hand to the outer side of your front leg. And inhale, rising up. We're going to bring that back foot back into warrior two, so it's parallel to the back of your mat. We're going to reverse your warrior, so flip that front hand. Back hand comes down onto your calf or your thigh, but never to your knee. And your left hand is coming overhead, working to create space in your left rib. Breathe into that rib. Exhale, coming forward, going into side angle pose. So your left arm comes to meet your front thigh. Your right arm is now overhead, opening up the right rib. Find the strength in your feet, you guys. This pose is as if there are two walls on either side of us. So we keep a line, a straight line with our feet and our upper body. Exhale, coming back up, straightening that front leg, rotating that front leg so it's parallel to the front of your mat. We're going into our first forward fold. So both your feet are parallel to the front and back of the mat. And I want your toes a little bit inverted. They're coming a little bit in, not out. And when you find some peace in your legs, like I am just finding now, we're going to fold all the way over. Now here, this is your own forward fold. So I want you to find what works for you. Many options. Option one, you can keep your feet as they are and you've got your back is pretty flat, right? Our hands are stacked under our shoulders. Or if you've got a little bit more space to play with, you begin to bring your hands, you face your fingers to behind you, and we begin to walk them underneath in between our legs. This pose, our wide-legged forward fold, is the start of an inversion. So eventually we can get our head to the floor, but for now, we're relieving our legs from all of the pressure we've been putting on them in our warriors. And exhale, we're going to spin to the front of the mat. Bring that left leg to meet the right, or the right to the left, apologies if I've mixed them up. Our big toes to touch, our heels to stay apart, a little gap in between your knees, as if there's a piece of paper there. We're going to go into chair pose. So exhale, bend your knees, arms come back behind you. Inhale, scrape the mat, and we're going to rise our arms to the sky. Sit further down with every exhale. Inhale, we lift, we find space in our spine. Exhale, sitting further down. If you look to your toes, we want to be able to see them. So if your knees are coming over your toes, try and bring them back. Option, if this is too much, just lessen your sit. Just stand a little higher. And exhale, forward fold. Release. Give yourself a little shake. If you want, you can even grab your thighs and just shake them out. You can do that one more time. Bring your feet together at the top of the mat. Heels a little apart. Imagining a piece of paper between our knees. Exhale, hands come behind us. Inhale, fingertips scrape the mat all the way up to the sky. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Find your breath. Find the roots in your feet. Exhale, forward fold. Shake them out. Inhale, lifting all the way up, arms come out wide. Tadasana, hands come up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close your eyes over. Thank yourself for building fire that burns away the excess inside us. Inhale, arms rise up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. All the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Straightening that spine, hands come to shins or to the floor. Exhale, forward fold. Hands come to the ground, bend your knees, step back into your high plank. Find your center in your high plank. Inhale, shift the weight forward. Exhale, lowering down, chaturanga. Untuck the toes. Magnetize those elbows, working for that right angle. Inhale, lifting the chest forward. Again, option if you'd like. Pressing the earth away. Lifting the thigh bones off the ground. Up dog. Opening up the chest a little wider by rolling your shoulders back. And exhale, lifting the hips, untuck the toes, down dog. Pedal out your feet. Move your hips from side to side. And find stillness. Feet come together at the back of the mat. Right leg lifts to the sky. Active foot. See how long you can create that line from your hands to the tip of your right toe. Inhale. Bring your knee in. We step that right foot next to our right hand. I think you know where we're going. Left foot comes in just a little, setting up so it's facing the top left corner of your mat. We'll find the right angle in your front leg. Arms come up, palms facing each other. Warrior one. Again, working not to splay your ribs open. Keep that core engaged as we reach higher to the sky. You'll find in most of our poses the duality between the extend, the lifting, and the contract, the deepening. See if you can move with your breath. Exhale, warrior two, setting up that back foot parallel to the back of the mat, opening your arms up wide, reaching equally forward and back, finding center in the middle. Feel yourself dance. That's okay. That's what we're aiming for. And exhale, straighten that front leg. Bring your arms down. You're going to walk that back foot in just a little bit again, setting it up to the top left-hand corner of the mat. Your hips are square facing the front of the mat. And we begin to fold over, hinging at the hips, keeping that front leg straight, but try not to lock the knee. Right arm comes to the ground or to the shin. And open up your left arm to the sky. Triangle pose. Option here again, right arm to come on the outer edge of your right foot. And that will just twist open your torso a little further. But remember, you guys, this is a standing pose. So have you been thinking about how strong you are in your feet? The feet that carry us every day. And inhale, rising back up, setting up for warrior two again. So that back foot parallel to the back of the mat, front leg, 90-degree angle, arms strong, engaged, and your drishti, or your gaze point for your eyes, is over your front fingers. We flip that front hand, and we reverse our warrior, opening up our right ribs, lung. Again, please try and imagine you're in between two walls. Can I create this shape all in line with one another? And exhale, moving into our side angle pose. Our left arm comes overhead, one straight line from the outer edge of our left foot to the tips of our left hand. Our right arm rests on our thigh. Option here to bring your right hand to the ground, whatever is comfortable for you. Keep that bend in that front foot. Keep that back leg active. And inhale, rising up, straightening that front leg. And we'll move into our wide angle Forward fold. Wow, I'm hot. So your feet again, a little bit inverted, the toes, and take your version of your forward fold. If you'd like, you can take your hands at the base of your spine, interlace them, and bring them down overhead using gravity to help open up your shoulders. But here we try and keep the palms together. You'll find they'll try and open up. Try and keep those palms together. And find your breath. If you took that option with your hands come to the ground. We're going to press the earth. So we're going to place our hands directly under our shoulder blades and find a flat back. Grip your feet and just suction up the earth. Feel what it is to have 4 points of connection holding you up. Potentially, evolutionarily, where we came from. Exhale, pressing the earth away. We're going to bring both our feet to meet at the top of the mat. Big toes to touch. Heels apart, folding over for me. A piece of paper between your knees. Bending the knees, you know where we're going, chair pose. Arms extend behind you. Inhale, scrape the floor, lift the arms. Exhale, sitting into your chair. Engage the core. And if you'd like to, place your hands on your hips. We want to make sure that we're not folding over on our hip bones. So can you lift that up? Bring your arms up again. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, we're going to bend our knees, bring our arms behind us, scrape the mat, all the way up to the sky. So you can push past that point of that's enough. That's where we grow. Exhale, forward fold. Bring the feet hip width distance apart and just shake them out. Find movement in your body. Inhale, slowly rise up all the way, finding your Tadasana. Arms rise up to the sky. Can you find that evenness between your feet? Hands come to heart center. Bring your feet in to touch. Just the big toes again. And I want you to find a drishti, or a gaze point in front of you. Something that's not moving. Hands on your hips. And I want you to, I'm going to face this way for you. We're going to bring our right foot to become a kickstand. So really plant that left foot in. Our right foot becomes a kickstand. And as you feel comfortable, find that drishti, that gaze point, and you bring that right foot either to your calf, if that's where it sits, or further up into your inner thigh. Vriksasana, or tree pose. Working to find that pressure between your upper left thigh and your foot, your right foot. They press together to lift you higher. Our upper body is in Tadasana, and you take the option of your arms that's best. Arms up into a tree. Now, it's okay if you're swaying like I am, because we are emulating a tree. So you find your movement, ideally planting that left foot down. Arms can come to heart center. Remain in your hips, wherever you find yourself. And take a few breaths. Lift that left thigh bone. Press your leg into the earth. And exhale, slowly lowering that foot down all the way to the ground. And we're going to swap sides. So bring your feet together again in the middle. Just shake your hips out a little bit. Shake your arms. I know that balance poses can be quite intense. And we're going to do it again. Find the strength in your right foot. Root that down. And we're going to bring the left foot as a kickstand on the inside of your right leg. And as you find your drishti, your gaze point, we lift that left leg higher to the point where it's comfortable for you. For me, it's my inner thigh. We press them together and notice as your arms raise to the sky or as they come to your heart center. Notice the difference between the two sides of your body. Perhaps one you find more stable. That's normal. Engage the core to lift a little higher. Press the mat away with your foot that's on the ground. And as a tree, we allow that sway. Exhale, slowly bringing that left foot leg back down to the ground. And shaking it out. And now, after having done balance pose, I'd like you to get back into your Tadasana. So option here, feet either hip width distance apart or the traditional, which is toes touching, heels also touching. Engage the thighs, lift them up. Grip the mat with your feet. Engage the core, tuck the tailbone. Hands come either side of you, or my personal favorite, raise all the way to the sky without splaying out your body. Keep everything tucked in. And feel what it is to stand. Reaching up to the sky. Who'd have thought a standing pose could make you sweat? Tadasana, or this pose that we're in right now, mountain pose is what it's called. And it's a call to attention to find equilibrium amongst all our limbs that keep us standing every day. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Inhale, arms rise up to the sky. And exhale, forward fold all the way down. Option here to take your ragdoll again, so grasping opposite elbows. And this time, we'll just sway from side to side, releasing any pressure in the back. Again, if you're having any if your neck feels a bit tight, you can clasp your fingers together. We place them at the base of our head and just gently pulling on the neck and releasing any tension that's there. Exhale, hands come to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, opening that spine. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, feet come back to the back of the mat. Find your high plank, pressing the earth away. Balls of feet set up directly under your heels. Engage that core as we shift the weight forward. And exhale, slowly lower down. Chaturanga. Untuck those toes. Magnetize the elbows together. And inhale, lift that chest forward. Press the tops of the feet into the earth. And again, option into up dog. Find the extra curve in your back. Make sure those thigh bones are lifted. And exhale. Hips come to the sky and tuck the toes. Down dog. 5 breaths here. Exhale, knees come to the ground. We're going to bring them out wide, toes touching, and lower your hips all the way down into Balasana. Hands may not have moved, but as you get to the ground, you can start reaching them forward, but not at the expense of your hips, you guys. We try and keep those hips connected to your heels, and we reach with our upper body. And just pause for a moment here. Inhale, coming back up onto all fours. We're going to bring our right leg on the outside of our right hand. And we are in lizard lunge. And we are also in the cool down part of our class. Congratulations. Lizard lunge, we are opening up that left hip. So we begin to stretch out all the muscles that we just worked. And if you feel comfortable, I want you to bring that right foot in just a little, and we're going to bring our upper body up as if we're in asana. But this time, if you can, we're going to bring that back foot to your bum as close as we can, and we're going to stretch out that left quad. If this is too intense for you, that's fine. You stay in your lizard lunge. I'm just aware we did a lot of quad today, so I want to stretch that out. Holding that. Exhale back into your lizard lunge. That front leg walks out a little bit. See how low you can get, you guys. We're trying to get our front knee touching our front shoulder. The right knee is like right on the right shoulder. Eventually, if you'd like, actually, you can try. I'm not sure where everyone's yoga is up to. I'll show you this way. So we're lizard lunge. We can begin to bring our hand underneath. And don't push if you're not there, that's so fine. Eventually, that becomes a beautiful arm balance. And bring that front leg back to meet your back leg. We're going to swap sides. Left leg comes up. Back leg is really reaching out to the back. We're opening up that right hip. I love the names of these poses because I'm a very, I guess, visual person. The idea of being something else with my body, like a lizard in this pose, it just helps me, I guess, find the stretch in it. Bring that front foot in again, and if you'd like to take the option to stretch that quad, we'll do the same thing. Bring that back leg in. I find stretching is similar to when you're in the active poses. Exhale, release that back foot, and we'll come back into the lizard lunge. In that, there is a little pain involved in your stretching. And it's what kind of pain, right? We don't want pins and needles. You don't want sharp stabbing, but a discomfort. That is the point of growth. And exhale. We're going to keep that front foot there. Let's see how smooth this transition is. Back foot, I want you to bring so it's like 90 degrees at the back of your mat, and we're going to sit back. I tried it. I'm going to sit back onto our butt, and we're going into our half-seated forward fold. Seated half forward fold. So our left leg is out in front of us. We're going to bring our right foot Like we're in tree pose, so it comes to the inner thigh. And I want you to be making a right angle with your body. I don't want this front leg to be out. I'm going to face this way for you. I don't want it to be out here, the different stretch. So as much as you can directly in front of you. And your right hip is the 90-degree angle. Inhale, arms rise up to the sky. And exhale, we're folding forward. But the most important part of this stretch is the straight spine. So we're not going to bend our spine like this just to try and get closer. Okay, we meet ourselves where we are. So just like in our forward fold, we're working to get our stomach to our thigh and the crown of our head to our feet. And if you've got my playlist on, we're in some kind of jazzy tunes at the moment. Option here, if you are quite flexible, to bring that left hand all the way around. I'm actually not going to do it because I'm not that flexible, but you can come around and you use your right hand to clasp your wrist, okay? So it's over your foot like that. Otherwise, just where you're at. Ideally, your hands are connected to something. And exhale, we're going to swap legs. Right leg comes out in front of us. Left leg's at that 90-degree angle. Inhale, arms rise up to the sky. You find our length. And exhale, forward fold. Reaching for that right foot. And just like in all the other poses, you will find something different in each side. And that is a really beautiful part of yoga, is to get to know the intricacies of your own body. Something they taught us in training and that now I take with me everywhere is that everyone's body is different. It's easy to say that, but to see scans of the hips, to see scans of people's feet, and to really know that your body can do some things that others can't, and vice versa. And that's perfect. Begin to deepen your breath as we slow down. Exhale, lifting back up. Our left leg is going to fold over that right leg. There's an option here for you. I prefer it. I like to fold that front leg really close to my butt, so my heel's just in my butt. And my right leg is folded forward. I'm going to bring that left hand behind me, ideally right in the center of my spine. And we're going to bring the right hand, the triceps at the back of the top of your arm, to meet that left thigh. And we're going to open our chest, pressing that thigh and that tricep together, opening up the chest and fluffing out the spine, really. Any twists like this one is helping create flexibility in your spine. That right foot that's on the ground, if you flex that foot, you may find yourself going a little deeper. If this is too deep a stretch for you, just wrap that right arm over that left leg and we focus more on the quad. Just as in all the other poses, we inhale and we lift the spine. And exhale, try and deepen that twist. And you stay there. I'm just going to turn around for you because as we unravel, I want you to reach your right hand and your left hand over to the other side, just gently untwisting the spine. If you can, if you've got room, we bring our arms all the way down. Exhale, pressing back up. And we'll swap sides. So we bring our right leg over our left. Again, feel free to keep that left leg straight if you'd like, or option to bring it tucked in next to your butt. Your right foot is flat on the ground. We flex that left foot, bring our right hand behind us, ideally in the center of our spine, and our left tricep to meet our right thigh. With our head, you will find you tend to try and twist your head further. We want to try and keep our chin parallel to the ground and our gaze following our chest. So we don't turn our head further than our chest. And exhale, release. And same thing, we're going to fold over to the other side gently, gently. Letting that spine unravel. Exhale, pressing back up. We're going to find King Pigeon. I'm sure a lot of you have done pigeon pose before. We don't have a lot of time left, so I won't explain why it's not my favorite, but we're going to do King Pigeon. So we stack our legs on top of each other. We're working to get both our thigh bones parallel to each other. Our feet are flexed, and there will be a gap between the top knee and the bottom ankle. That's fine. Inhale, lift your arms up, and exhale, we're folding forward. And this is a stretch for that top leg, hamstring, and glute. Keep those feet flexed to see if you can fold a little further, but just as all of our stretches, we're keeping a straight spine so you meet yourself where you're at. Exhale, press back up, swap sides. So whatever foot was on the bottom is now on top, working to get those thighs parallel. So the bottom leg will be protruding a little more than you'd think. Arms up, keep those feet flexed, folding forward. Exhale, back into a seat, legs extend. Shifting your weight all the way down to the ground. And we're moving into Shavasana or corpse pose. Let your feet splay out. Palms rest either side of your body facing up. Tuck the shoulder blades together to find balance. Big inhale and exhale with your mouth open. As we sink into the earth. Feel each of your limbs slowly surrender. When you're ready, we begin to deepen our breath and come back into your room. I want you to extend your left arm above your head as you roll over to the left side. Or really, whatever's comfortable for you, rolling over to your left side. And make your way into a seated position. Hands come to heart center. Keep your eyes closed and just revisit that intention that you set at the beginning of class. Please, please thank yourself for being here, for taking time out of your day just to get in touch with yourself and your body. And I thank you so much for joining me and sharing your practice with me today. Namaste, you guys. Thanks, everyone. I hope that was okay. We went a little bit over time. If anyone has really any suggestions or ideas, or hi, Samson, or if anyone has any comments, or if there's anything you want to work on, or different timing, whatever you want, guys. Just I'm all ears. So this is your journey as well. Thank you, and I'll see whoever's here on Sunday or next Thursday. Sunday morning flow is about waking up, so it's very fun. Okay, I'll see you guys.